Matt Slauson, the Jets offensive lineman, had this to say about the Jets' two quarterbacks. It's like we're going to be two separate teams. But as far as I know, Mark Sanchez is still going to be our guy. So, Ryan, I want you to start us off on this one. Will a two-quarterback system work in the NFL? Because you said yesterday that you think that Tim Tebow should, out of the gate, be the starter.
I think that Tim should be the guy. I think you create a controversy right off the bat when you start going two quarterbacks. If you're going to try to, and then you're trying to run two totally different systems, which on one hand will make the defense have to prepare for two different systems. You know, okay, but if I know when Tim's in the game, this is the offense you run. When Mark's in the game, this is the offense you run. There's no element of surprise there to what you're doing.
No.
It's just two different offenses.
You will know immediately.
Right,
you see
exactly.
Tim Tebow under center, right? You'll know exactly what's going on.
So, and I also think the problem comes in, and we talked about it in the production meeting, when the fourth quarter comes and you've been alternating these guys all day. Do you go with the hot hand? Do you make a decision based off the guy who's actually come into games and won games late in the fourth quarter? Or do you go with Sanchez because you've given him the confidence and said, this is our starting quarterback? I think it can work, but I think it causes more problems for you as the team trying to implement a two-quarterback system than the team defending it.
I think this could smell the beginning of the end of Tim Tebow. And I say this. Yeah, I really do. Because he's going to be on the stage, and if they do this crazy idea of trying to have two different quarterbacks and this thing blows up or fails, or Tim Tebow doesn't have all the luck that he had at the end of games and situations didn't fall into his lap, and these things don't work, people will say...
Ryan's laughing.
No, I'm serious. And people will say...
Because you said luck, is that why?
Yes.
Sorry.
People will say, what? What is this? And other coaches will look and say, I don't want this guy near my football team. I'm not doing this. They better go out and he better have some unbelievable season and win. Otherwise, nobody will want to touch this guy or have him around because it's just disruptive. And now you're talking about having two quarterbacks. Tell me the team that won a Super Bowl with two quarterbacks in the NFL.
I think the thing is, too, though.
It hasn't happened. So why even do it?
I think the only thing
Giants
is you
did
have
with
two.
Hostetler and Sims.
But he was an injury, though, Skip.
But
It was an
But
injury.
I mean, you did it. You switched quarterbacks.
But it was an injury.
It means you have two quarterbacks you feel like have deficiencies.
That's why you have two.
It doesn't name a leader. It doesn't say, you know what, I have full confidence in you that you can lead this team. You know, it's saying, okay, you can do some things good, Mark. We feel like Tim, you can do some things good. And it's almost like a guy who has to have two girlfriends. It's like, I really like hanging out with you, and you're
Where have I heard that before?
And you're cool at the house.
Wait, you've said that before.
That's true.
But you look really good when you dress up, and I can take you to like the 5-star restaurants and events. So I'm gonna keep both of you.
Exactly.
When you have two, you have none.
You have none,
Yes.
right?
I heard that this morning.
There you go. Not that I have any, but I'm saying I'm sure you've had two before.
Hey!
Before you got married.
Rob, what's the old song? Remember, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, make an ugly
girl.
woman your
Right.
Oh my God.
Hey, that's Tim Tebow.
This conversation
That's what
could
you
go
want
a
to
lot
do.
of places.
You want the ugly woman to be your wife in this case. Look, Rob, first I got to cross-examine. I'm not going to sit here and take you calling him lucky again. How many times do you have to be lucky before you're good?
It's better
How
to be
many
lucky
times?
It is better to be lucky.
Wait. But if
better
you're
to be
lucky
lucky than
7
good.
times, are you good?
But when you keep saying
So
7,
lucky?
I keep
Really?
telling you we got an 89-yard field goal. We got the winless offense.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to let it go.
First and 10 at the 20 against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think that Jets game. I think they were counting the attendance during that play. I don't know what was going on.
You know what? Tebow was lucky 12 times in that drive. He basically took the whole game over. 12 plays, 95 yards. Can you imagine? I don't know how he did it. It was a fluke. It was a fluke. Never happened again, except it happened the next week and then the next week. So here's the point. I do believe in the old cliche. If you have two quarterbacks, you have none. The Jets have one quarterback. And I've said this from the start. Rex acquired, he stole Tebow because ultimately,
Stole him?
Yes, he did. He wants to go with Tebow. I made this point, and I don't know if you heard this, but Rex is ground and pound. Tebow turned the Denver Broncos into the #1 rush attack in all the NFL last year. Tebow did that. And he got help from Willis, but he kind of revived his career as he was going on 30 years.
He revived everybody's career. That whole team was
okay, well, he
shot
did. They
until
were
he got
1-4. Okay, well, he did.
And then they lost 3 straight games leading up to the playoffs and backed their way in.
But
I don't know why that you forget those facts.
Okay, but he had 2 of those games were against New England late in the
So
year.
what? He can't beat New England? So what?
You know what?
He's a great quarterback.
Oh,
Why can't he
You know
beat
what?
him.
Tebow played really well against.
You sat
Philly.
here and picked him over Tom Brady, which I still can't believe.
No, I told you early in the show we went through this. I picked Tom Brady in the playoff game,
And
then
then
we
you
had
flip-flopped.
our friend Woody Page on, and he convinced me that Elway had bought into Tim Tebow, which I should not have bought into because I don't believe Elway did. But that's a whole other issue. So in this case, I think early in the year they're going to struggle. They're going to look just like the 1-4 Broncos did last year because they're not just going to run Wildcat. They're going to alternate series where you're going to see Sanchez start the game, play 2 or 3 series, see if he's got a hot hand or not. And if he doesn't, maybe 2 or 3 more series are going to go to Tebow. Then maybe they'll go back to Mark to start the third quarter because Rex will say, watch this, I can do this. And again, Rex likes to prove his genius. He likes to be completely unconventional. But
He is an extremely intelligent football coach.
Oh, is he on defense? For sure. I don't know.
I think he understands players.
Yeah.
And I think he's brought Tim Tebow in for a reason, and I think all this is camouflage right now. I truly, honestly believe that Tim Tebow will be the starting quarterback early.
Right, Rob.
I don't believe it at all. I don't think he'll start a single game this year coming up. I don't think he'll start a single game.
You will find he will be the perfect fit for Rex Ryan, who wants to play top 5 defense, ground and pound,
But Skip,
and hit. What's Tim Tebow do the best when he throws the football? Throws it deep.
But it's the only thing I don't understand. If you got all this and Rex Ryan is this great football coach with this great mind, what is the charade with Mark Sanchez? Why not? Who is he hurt? He's going to hurt Mark Sanchez's feelings? If he really believes Tim Tebow is that guy and can win, why not just go do it? Pull the plug, bite the bullet. But why? What are you holding on to Sanchez for if you don't believe he's going to get you there, Skip? It doesn't. Your argument makes no sense.
This is a make or break year. Honestly, for Rex Ryan, I think you can't continue to guarantee Super Bowls.
Yep.
And not
all right, so if you got the guy now, go use him.
He doesn't know.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Yeah, I said he was a brilliant coach, but he doesn't know for sure that Tim Tebow is the guy to fit with that team. And I think this is what all this is about. I think right now they're trying to figure out who is going to be the guy for this team. I think they also wanted Tim for his leadership, for his intangibles that he brings to the locker room.
I just one bad year with Sanchez, and I don't get it. 2 years ago, the AFC Championship game, he wins 4 road playoff games, and go look at the 2 games that they lost in the AFC Championship game. Now, Skip, be honest. Was it the defense or was it Sanchez that lost those games? They had a lead in Indianapolis. The defense gave it up in the second half.
Yep.
And then they were down 24-3 at the half in Pittsburgh, right? Where you guys ran the ball. Second quarter, did not throw one pass. The whole quarter ran the football down their throats.
And you can talk all
Right?
you want.
They were different teams then, too, though.
Okay,
Defensively,
Rob,
they were different teams.
In the end, you can say all that. You can pile up stats on Sanchez. And I have some regard for Mark Sanchez. I agree. He has 4 playoff wins. But in the end, that team does not trust him, and they mutinied on Mark Sanchez last year. Santonio said, I want nothing more to do with that guy. Wouldn't even go to the quarterback meetings that Sanchez personally called, just Sanchez and the receivers. And Santonio says, I will not participate. Now, Santonio says, now, I'm okay, that's past, and we're going to leave it in the past. I'm not buying it. I don't think Rex is sold, and you know it in your heart. Rex isn't sold.
Yeah,
right?
but my point is, if Rex believes in Tebow and this whole thing, just do it.
Well, he will. He'll ease it in.
Rex, I'm calling you out. Do it. Seriously. Why don't you just make the move?
Ryan brings up a good point that he doesn't know yet.
Okay,
Why
and he
doesn't?
also, Rob, he needs his team to see Tebow in action.
What? Skip, they saw the playoff game against Pittsburgh. They saw Tebow last year. He's on everything. They saw he was on the cover of NFL magazine.
But you gotta
he was everything. Everybody saw it.
You got to get a feel for it, too, though. You got to get a feel for it because it seems like with Tim, and, you see it after he kind of leaves places, that people say some things that are in a negative light of the way they feel about him. While he's there, it's a love fest, it seems. Everybody's saying the right things, and that's what you do when you have a good locker room. New York's not going to be like that.
Yep.
They're going to know right away if Tim can be the guy or if he isn't. And I think the biggest thing...
That's why I say it's the beginning of the end, because Ryan, if he doesn't play well or things don't work out on that stage, you watch and see.
I mean, it could be, but he's going to get a chance. And we have to let it play out on the field, though. That's the biggest thing. We have to see him on the field with that team. And it is Rex's philosophy. He wants to run the ball, and he wants to play good defense. Things kind of got out of whack when they said, hey, last year, Mark, it's your team now. We're going to throw the ball. We just gave
Yep.
Santonio this
That is
money.
correct.
It didn't go the way that they thought
Yeah,
it
but
was.
they also messed up the running game, and they made some decisions on their running backs that cost them.
Ryan, bottom line, can Tebow be successful as the starter with the Jets?
I think he can.
I do
I
too.
believe he can be successful.
There you
depending
go.
on
You heard it
Oh,
from
is
the
that it?
ultimate
Who would you
source.
rather have be your quarterback, Mark Sanchez or
Ben
Tim Tebow?
Roethlisberger.
Okay, that's
Okay,
a good
there you go.
answer.
Good
That's
answer.
fine. Way to get out of that one. You can tell me
Good
during the
answer.
break who you really want.